coming up.
And he was like, I've organised you a personal shopping experience. I was like, Andy East. He's wanting Rudy's tonight, isn't he?
Yeah. I tax my children on their sweets.
Welcome, the one and only Gemma Bird, aka Money Mum.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, thanks for the intro, ladies. I don't care if you co-sleep, you get them in the middle of the night, you breastfeed
Yeah,
till they're 25.
Yeah.
Crack on.
A bit of bitty.
Yeah,
25 going to university, graduating. A bit of
That might be a little bit weird.
Oh, what a week, Louise.
What a week. I had my birthday party last weekend, which was lovely.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, darling.
And
It
how
really
was
nice.
that?
It was really nice, actually. It was really nice. We just had like friends over for dinner.
Yeah.
Had my hair cut. My kids told me that they hated it, so that was nice.
Great.
It was a really nice dinner. The next morning, though, and I don't know if you've ever done this, but my husband had a little bit of a hangover, and we couldn't find any Nurofen or paracetamol, so he took 3 tubes of Calpol.
Did he? And did he feel better?
I don't think he did. He was like, the stuff doesn't work, and I'm like, I think it does.
Or maybe because it's for like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
It might not be
But he was
quantity.
quite funny, like seeing him just give himself the syringe of Calpol.
I thought you were going to say the hangover horn then. I
Oh,
thought
he had
that's
the
where
hangover
you were
horn.
going
No,
with
he had
that.
the hangover horn. It is a thing, isn't it? It's definitely a thing. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
My husband would literally dry hump anything if he could.
Yes, I remember being in the kitchen and like bending over to like do something, and then he comes behind me and just the whole like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks. Although I do quite like it.
I know. I always go, will you stop it, Andy?
Yeah.
But secretly, I'm like,
It's when they stop doing it. You're like, why haven't you?
Yeah, why are you not dry
I'm
humping me?
bending over here. What, this is like, what's happening? Yeah,
I'm not
so
even at the
quite pleased.
dishwasher. Just look, I'm bending over. I want your attention.
Yeah. So that was nice. But yeah, the Calpol incident was interesting.
I love that. I love that he tried it and didn't
he
feel
did try
better
it.
from it.
No, he didn't.
So were you quite drunk on Saturday? Or was it like a respectable evening?
It was. I wasn't drunk, no, but I definitely had a few glasses. It was just really nice, and chatting to the mums at the school that I don't really see enough, or when you're at the school gates, it's all very quick. Or how are you? Yeah. Fine. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, and I was talking to this one mum, and we were talking about Bluey.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Bluey. Have you?
Have you? Well, so it's interesting you say that. So Bradley and Logan, my first 2 kids, never watched Bluey.
Yeah.
And Annabelle likes the Wiggles
Yes, the Wiggles.
and Bluey.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
But
And
have you seen it? Because
so I've watched a few bits, and it's like actually quite humorous for an adult.
yeah,
to
that's
watch.
what she was saying.
Yeah.
And she was like, but there are some episodes that are really like it's for the parents, and they're quite like, they kind of get you. And I was just like, I've never seen Bluey. I mean, my kid plays with the toys of Bluey that she's got, but
Tonight's the night.
tonight might be the night. And she did say, she was like, actually when I was slightly hungover on the Sunday, she was like, maybe don't watch Bluey by yourself tonight because you might get emotional. I was like, oh my God, is it really that emotional?
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited.
I just love Bluey because it entertains my daughter. I remember my boys.
There is that.
My boys started to watch. Is it Bing?
Bing,
And
yes.
Bing misses
Yeah.
the beginning and the ends of words off. So they were both doing quite well with their speech. And then at one point they're like, oh yeah, and I was like, why are you talking like that? I couldn't understand it. And I was like, they might be developing because my husband, he used to have a speech impediment.
Yeah.
And he talked really fast and missed the beginning and ends of words off. So I thought, maybe this is like a genetic thing. I don't know. I'm not
But
a
it's
doctor.
actually Bing.
But it was Bing. Like, and I'd be like, right, you're not watching Bing anymore. He's like not talking properly. He's not
Oh my
educating
God.
you while I'm doing housework.
Yes.
I need a cartoon that's going to teach my kids shit. Educate them. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And any parenting fails this week?
So I've been really preoccupied with websites, work, everything. And I'm sure I signed Logan up to do drama. But apparently, as the school phoned me to say, hi, Mrs. East, because they're so nice and friendly. And I was like, hiya. And they said, we've got Logan here. And I wanted to be like, well, I hope so. He's at school, isn't he? And then she was like, yeah, it's just, do you want us to put him into like the wraparound care? And I was like, well, he's got drama, hasn't he? Now, I mock parents that don't read school emails, and here I am not reading school emails because I was like, oh my God, which email was that? And then I was scrolling through like keyword drama and trying to Anyway, I forgot to pick him up from school, but I was really lucky on Monday. So for my birthday, it's the only day that me and Andy could go and do something. We never do stuff, just the two of us. No, it wasn't Rudy Doodies. He was like, get in the car, I'm taking you somewhere. Aww. So I was like, oh, what do I wear? And I hate surprises. So I was like, where are we going? Have you told my mum and dad? I could maybe bribe my dad to tell me. So he took me to Birmingham shopping. And he was like, nice. I've organised you a personal shopping experience. I was like, Andy East. He's wanting Rudy's tonight, isn't he?
Yeah.
So 3 personal shoppers ran out onto the shop floor, got loads of stuff, came in, threw dresses at me. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I was, waiting to show Andy one of the dresses. And I was like, I don't know where he's gone. Maybe he's gone to do a bit of shopping. Yeah. And then all these personal shoppers had disappeared. And I was like, oh, hello. Like, excuse me, I think I need a bigger size than this one because my ass has got bigger since I had my 3rd kid. And I turned around and in the changing room next to me, Andy, my husband, was there, head to toe, new outfit, and 3 personal shoppers were assisting my husband for my birthday present as a personal shopping experience.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, oh babe, what do you think to this? And I was like, oh Andy, you look really nice. And he was like, I've got to show you this other top as well. I've just tried this on. And he knew them all by first name terms. They were all laughing and chatting with him. I was like, excuse me.
This is my day.
So I was thinking, so he actually left and he spent more on himself than I did on me.
Do you think this surprise was for him rather than you? And he was just made it out that it was for you?
No, it's just that's just him. So he's got a full new wardrobe and he was like, I've been waiting for something like this. And obviously everyone's like, oh, that top's amazing. Why don't you add the jacket with it as well to spend a bit more? And the shoes, like socks, like pants, everything.
It's like a Pretty Woman moment, but for the man.
For him, yeah.
Pretty man.
And then we were late for school pickup.
Oh, God.
I was at nursery 1 minute to 6. And my anxiety levels are through the roof because I hate being late.
Yeah.
And we were driving back. The boys missed their swimming lessons. The weather was bad. And I was like, oh my God, this is so stressful.
I loved your sketch that you did with your nursery teacher. You're 1 minute late at £30 an extra
£30 a second. Because obviously we wouldn't send our kids to nursery if we didn't think they were great places. We couldn't work without nursery. We need they're our heroes, people at nursery. Yeah. But a guy messaged me, bearing in mind I'm holding a kid's shark toy as a phone. And this guy was like, my suggestion is you don't work in a nursery.
I saw that. You're like, it's a sketch.
But I was like, no, that's not. It's not me. I'm not on the phone. Like, this isn't real time. Yeah, and my lipstick was like,
I know. Oh my God. Honestly, that's hilarious. I did see that.
The internet's the wild
it's the wild, wild west.
Today we have the UK's favourite money-saving mum.
She's a best-selling author, a no-spend day queen, mortgage-slaying legend, and a truly brilliant parent and person.
Please welcome the one and only Gemma Bird, aka Money Mum.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, thanks for the intro, ladies.
Oh, we're so happy you're here.
I might just get you walking in front of me every time I enter a room from now on.
That's fine.
Look, my husband's buzzing that you're here because he's like, she's going to stop you going to the expensive supermarkets, and you'll start thinking about your spending.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Gemma's got to say fashion tip because Hannah and I do our Fab Fit, and these shoes, charity shop,
love
£8.
Brilliant.
£8. They're
amazing.
basically brand new, and I love them.
I mean,
they're a bit high for me, but I don't care. I love them. Hannah, the other day you came in with some shoes from a charity shop, and they were brilliant.
Yeah, there's like where I live, they do this thing called Rotate. So it's like a car boot sale for women's clothes. So you go there, they do it every like 6 months or so. And people are selling like Reese heels and trousers, jumper, like all the designer makes. And I got like a pair of Reese shoes for like £11. And I obviously I haggled. I think she wanted 15.
I've only got £11.
Give her 15 quid worth for my
You're like those people on Facebook. It's on for £4.
Oh my God.
Can I buy it for 3? Okay. And then can you drop it to me 8 miles away? No, I can't.
And can you do it in 10 minutes as well? Because I want to wear it
and then
tonight.
You go, are you coming? Nothing back.
Nothing. That's what I find. Just say, is it still available? Yes, it is. Ghosted.
Yeah.
I've known you for a while. I'm so pleased you're here. And you said something recently on your Instagram about how you can make your house warmer in the winter months without spending too much money. And I do this. So it's when you're cooking something in the oven, leave the oven doors open.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say put a jumper on.
Once you finish cooking, Lou, don't leave the oven door on whilst you're cooking. Once you finish,
turn off.
That's not really.
That's really hell. That chicken's raw, isn't it? Louise forgot to shut the oven while she was cooking.
No, but I do that, and I think that's brilliant.
I love that.
It's so simple, and that's what's brilliant. You have really easy saving tips for parents out there. What would you say are your top tips for parents who are feeling the squeeze?
My first tip is always work out your hourly wage, what you take home. So, for example, say after tax and national insurance, we're just going to make this really simple. You take home £10 an hour, right? Especially a lot of people don't like their job, right? So if I said to you, when you go around the supermarket, if you spend an extra hour in there, because I've done this on loads of different things, switching brands, literally checking every single solitary price, and you save £30, you actually have to work 3 hours to earn that £10. So if I said you spend an extra hour in there, you're actually timesing your wages by 3. Because when you go to the gym and you run, not that I go to the gym, but whenever I've been to the gym, but hold up, there's a point to this, Lola. Whenever I've gone to the gym and I run on the treadmill, which is never, as I say, but if I ever do, I've looked and after 10 minutes it'll go, you have burnt 50 calories. And I'm like, what? 10 minutes of absolute hell for me because I don't enjoy it. But when I go home, I then am more cautious of what I put in my mouth. I then will pick up a Mars bar and think, 250 calories, I'd have to run them for 4 days. So if you think about it the other way around, like money, but when you're not going to the gym, you don't think about that Mars bar, you bung it in your gob. So it's a bit like money. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
oh my God, literally, I love you.
Let's talk about going on holiday with kids and saving and stuff like that. So I guess an average holiday for a family costs somewhere between, I mean, if you're going abroad, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10,000. So if you're a family of say 4, trying to save for a holiday, like what tips would you do?
Well, it depends again on your circumstances. Remember, if you've got very young children, we've been away to beautiful places with the kids, and as I say, we went to the caravan. But Brody and Bronte, we went to a caravan a couple of years ago, and it was Brody and Bronte's favourite holiday, and we went to Scotland to visit friends. What I tend to find is children love other children.
Yeah.
They don't care whether it's a 5-star hotel. We do.
Yeah.
We like the luxury, we like the hotel, but they actually don't really care.
No.
If there's a water slide and there's a pool, and there's some sand,
spade,
they don't
Bucket of
actually
Lay's
care.
crisps,
Like we went to Canvey the other day with my friends and we did crabbing down there. We all took
crabbing's so
much fun. So you can do home holidays and look at things like if you can't afford to go away at all. Have you got another friend in a similar situation? And do they say live in Scotland and you live in England? Could you house swap for a few days and then you're literally just paying for that?
That's a really good idea.
Could you do something like that? Or do you, it's literally, I think it's pretty much called off the top of my head, freecampsites.com or something like that. If you just put in free camping, you'll be able to find it on Google, where you can literally go camping for free.
Well, I do think that goes back to my childhood of really not doing much at all. We did go on this one holiday, budget as you like.
Is that what it was called?
It might have been, like it was a Airbnb, not even Airbnb, it was a bed and breakfast somewhere in the UK, and all of us shared a room. But, I think my mum was brilliant at making things fun. She made everything fun. And when we had our breakfast, which was included in the bed and breakfast, she would say to us, she was like, get a napkin and just fill it up with loads of food. Like, grab those sausages and grab that bacon.
Oh my God, I still do that now.
Yeah, and we had that for lunch. So that for lunch and dinner, which is probably why now I'm vegetarian, because it was disgusting. But they were gross. Anyway.
Sounds like where I stayed for my hen party. Like my husband went to Las Vegas for his stag do, and I was like, I just want a cheap weekend. I want all my mates to come. I don't want any of my friends to feel uncomfortable with the cost of my hen do. I want it cheap, cheerful, and I want it tacky. So we went to this place in Blackpool, which was actually a swingers hotel. It was about £2.50 a night. And do you know what? It was the best weekend of my life. I remember one of my mates was pregnant, and we went for breakfast, and the guy serving had a fag in his gob. And this guy was like, do you want them fried or scrambled? And I was like, I think I'm all right. And my friend who was pregnant, she was like, I'm not eating here. No. She was like, my husband, there was like hairs in all the eggs.
Oh, no, that's absolutely revolting.
It was £2.50 a night. And it was a swingers hotel. You could hear people upstairs doing their bits. But it was the best weekend of my life. And it was cheap and cheerful. All my friends were there.
Yeah.
And that just made it,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's what you make of it. Sometimes when things go wrong, they are actually really funny. And as I say, that's when you have the memories. So they can either be absolutely amazing or absolutely dreadful. Yeah. But that's part of life, right? It's like, it is funny. Like,
I don't want to advertise a hotel because I know everyone's going to flock there. It's like, what, it's £2.50 a night?
So how old are your kids?
So Brody, my little boy, is 12. He's about to turn 13, so he's about to be a teenager. Yeah. And Bronte, my little girl, is 6.
And do they have their own saving accounts, bank accounts? Are they clued up with money? Do you drill it into them?
No, they're not clued up with money at all. Because back when Brody's 6 and she just, all she cares about is getting sweets and Barbie dolls and asking me questions. Brody has an understanding, but is still only 12. He's not, as I say, he's not even hit his 13th birthday yet.
Yeah.
So he's still very much like, can I have? Yeah. But they both do have savings accounts.
This might sound really weird, but I tax my children on their sweets.
But a mum
to
tax?
Teach them. Yeah. So if I give them a snack.
Right.
I mean, my husband started this. I think it's because he just wanted some of their stuff. But it's, in a way, it's teaching them. So if we give my kid, like, you know, a packet of Haribo or a packet of crisps, we go, mummy tax, daddy tax, and they have to give us some of it. And they're like, ugh. And I'm like, it's tax. You got it for the rest of your life, so you've got to learn now. Is that weird?
No, it's not weird. And I think there's no right or wrong when it comes to money and what you do and how you do it, you know. And again, that's another thing. Like, we compare ourselves all the time with people around us, and we also compare ourselves with money and how successful we are with how much we earn. So it's not a bad thing to introduce your kids to tax, introduce your kids to saying no to money, because it's part of life. Because I think then we all grow up a bit more balanced. Like, if we speak about it a bit more, because there's always someone richer than you, and there's always someone doing work not as well as you. Do you see what I mean? Financially.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing isn't a bad thing. I just think in the teenage years, even saying to them, like, mummy's not got the money for that.
Yeah, I do say that.
Yeah.
I do say I can't do it. They're like, why? And I'm like, because I can't.
Brody asked me for a Bugatti the other day. Do you know they're only 12 million, the one he wanted? Might get 4.
I thought you said baguette.
No,
It's
Bugatti.
Like, that's all right.
He was
Bugatti,
like,
right.
oh my God, Mum, you know you're doing well.
different.
You know you're
Ham and
doing
cheese.
well because I said to him the other day, oh, I've done well on something. So he's remembered this piece of information. Probably I got an extra 100 quid. He went, why don't you get a Bugatti?
Sure, let's get 2.
I was
why
like,
not?
and then I sort of had to explain to him, I said, to have a Bugatti, Brody, not that I know anyone that's got one, but you'd have to be worth hundreds of millions to buy that car for 12 million. You couldn't just have 12 million because then you wouldn't be able to run it. And he was trying to even get that concept to him. But he's like, but if you had 12 million, could you buy it? And I'm like, in theory, yes, but no, because then you'd have to tax it and sure you'd have no money left. So really, to be able to afford that car, you'd need probably 200 million in the bank.
But
so
he's
it's
looking at you
trying
like,
to describe
yeah,
him.
yeah.
So whatever it is, again, that was something that interested him, that caught his interest. I know it sounds crazy at 12 million, but I thought, well, he's interested in that. So I'm gonna, and he was like, oh, right, okay. So you can't, so you could buy it, but then you couldn't afford to run it. So it's just trying to, whatever clicks with them at the time.
Yeah.
Do you know
Like
what
you
I mean?
say, something that's relatable. One thing I spent a fortune on, and it was really bad. So I've just come out of the whole breastfeeding in the night era. My little girl, she's still in nappies and stuff. So she's still at that age where she wakes up a bit in the night. I wake up in the night, especially when I was like breastfeeding. I was buying so much online when I was half asleep, when I was feeding in the night. Not even feeding, it's like you're awake and then you have that anxious feeling, don't you, where you're like, oh, what if the baby's not okay? Like, what advice do you give to mums that are buying in the night when they're awake?
I feel like this is actually a really easy one to solve. Just put it all in your basket and don't check out. So literally, so you feel like you're buying it. So whatever you want, your hot tub, your Bugatti car, whatever it is.
That outfit that's like a size 8 that you know you're never going to get into.
Right, all this stuff, put it in the basket. And then in the morning, wake up and ask yourself, do you need it and do you want it? Most of the time you won't want to. And if you can do it and not scratch that itch, actually wait 48 hours. Because my friend had this, and this is a real true story. I was around her house and she was like, I've never got any money. But I know that she earns really good money. Yeah. So I was like, I don't understand how you've never got any money. You earn way above the average wage. So does your husband. Like, why have you got no money? 2 things out the door goes, about 4 Amazon boxes. She goes, oh, I haven't opened them. And I looked at the floor and I was like, there was another like 5 opened. She was like, I'm obsessed with buying things, like just buying things. And I was like, so I said to her, well, this is why you've got no money. And she was like, why? And I said, because you're buying toot that you don't need. Like, fair enough if you need it. Like, it's brilliant. Like, next day delivery and things you actually need. Like, Bronte needed some school tights the other day. I was like, right, Amazon them straight away. Yeah. But she didn't actually need any of it. And she wasn't using a lot of it. And she was even saying to me that she was opening things, they didn't fit. And she'd gone past the return period, so she couldn't send them back. Oh. So then she was then just giving them away, or she wasn't even reselling them or
that's
doing
like
anything.
just throwing money away, isn't it?
So really? I said to her about this, like, put it in the basket and wait 2 days. And she goes, oh, I'm going to do it for like a month. I'm going to really try. And she actually did stick to it. And she reckons she saved a couple of £1,000 doing it.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
I just don't think saving for children is implemented enough in them.
Is that because now things are so different? Like us growing up, Like I saved for my first car, and I saved and bought a flat on my 21st birthday, and I couldn't afford to live in it. So I had to rent it out to my friends because I was at uni and I didn't have the money to, and I was like, same as you, my parents went in half for this flat. I remember actually when I met my husband, my dad was like, don't you be telling him that you own property. I owned a 2-bed flat in Scarborough. Like it wasn't great. It was bogging actually. And my husband actually had done the same thing. We've got a property business, and he'd done the same thing and saved up and bought his own stuff. And that's because we grew up with very, like our upbringings were very much like, you want money? Well, you have to earn it then.
Yeah.
I remember I went to a car boot sale when I was 9, and I saw this big gorilla teddy, which I still have. And the woman, it said £1 on it. And I was like, I don't have £1. I've only got 50p. And she went, oh, darling, you can have it for 50p. And I gave her £1, and I stood there and waited for my change.
Oh,
and my dad was like, I'm gonna have to watch her. But my concern now is that things are different. My kids don't have that. Like we'll say things like, I'll say, who's going to pay for that then if they ask for something? And my middle child is 7, and he was just like, well, you can pay for it, mummy. And I was like, no, you do jobs around the house. I remember doing jobs around the house, and you'd write it on the fridge, like clean the bathroom 20p. And obviously you wouldn't clean the bathroom properly, but you'd write 20, and get pocket money every week. And I'm like, that's on me. I'm not teaching them enough that, like, although it was ingrained in me from a young kid to want money, my brother wasn't the same. He wasn't as bothered as I was about having money and saving. But it's like, what is it? Is it like me not educating my kids enough, or like how kids are a bit bougie now, aren't they?
I think
it's a mix, because I think as well, when I was growing up, my parents didn't have anything. Like I didn't go on a plane till I was 14. Do you know what I mean? We went to caravan holidays, and I do think now, like Brody and Brody have been to Disney World loads of times. Like, even with our job, like they've had like PR trips there. They have grown up in a much more, not particularly Brody in the younger years, but the last 4 or 5 years, even just with my job. So I do think it depends on your circumstances as well. Do you see what I mean? So they have been travelling, because that's something I really wanted to do, and I wanted to experience that with my kids. But I think as long as they sort of, I'm hoping that we instill into them that this isn't normal, that you're going on all these holidays and things, if you are lucky enough to take them away, making sure that they're aware of it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could just be that your lifestyle is different to how you grew up. Maybe you're more successful than your parents were, because again, that was that fight in your belly, a bit like me, where you didn't want to constantly say, I've got no money to do that. We've not got no money. Like I remember that, living in fear, and I still live in fear now every single day. Like I think this can all go, like my money could go, I've got to save. Like I'm an obsessive saver still. There's no change in me whatsoever. So I do think maybe it is your upbringing. And I don't want my children to live in fear. I think I do need to loosen the purse strings slightly with certain things. Like I'll be like, I can't buy that when I can. So I think there needs to be like a happy middle. I think that's what I want from my kids. I want them to be able to think, my mum has always said to me, and she still says it to me now, but I've gone the other way, I think, spend half, save half. And that's what I want my children to do. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
How did you get into doing this?
Right. So we're going to number crunch it all together. Fact 1, the most I'd ever earned is 25 grand a year, right? That was the most I'd ever earned until I started doing this job, okay? Yeah. I was on about 15 grand actually before I started doing this job. My husband was out of work. So when people say to me, you don't know what it's like, I'm like, I do know what it's like, because I've been on really low money. From the age of 7, I lived and breathed saving money, because my parents never had any. So I feel like it's just part of me.
Yeah.
I'm not good at pretty much anything, but I'm good at like saving a pound note. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like I just started my page as me, like just sharing money tips, because that's what I do. I enjoy it. Yeah. Maybe it's a number thing, I don't know. And with regards to paying my mortgage off, I've moved now, so I'm not mortgage free, but I was mortgage free at 37.
That's incredible. Like huge credit to you.
Yeah.
For
never earning a high salary.
What a relief to do that.
When I was on the low salary, I worked for an estate agent. I saved up a low amount of money, and I remember I wanted to buy a flat, because I went to I went to show him around the house, like a flat, and he was a builder. And I remember I was in early 20s, and he was like this muscly man in this Range Rover car, so really impressionable, when he owned all these properties and he was really wealthy. And I'm a question asker, so I was like, how have you got this car? Oh my God, I love Range Rovers. I'd love a Range Rover. How have you got all these flats? Like, how would you do things? So he just told me, like, as I was showing him around, he was like, I buy properties and I rent them out, and he's like, you need this deposit. And it was at the time where you could get 5% deposit. Yeah. Back a long time. So I was like, I'm just a doer. A bit like when I started Instagram, I just picked it up and did it. I went back into the office. I went and sat with the mortgage advisor and was like, right, what could I borrow? So she told me. So I found a flat, and this is how I did it. I put Walthamstow was an upcoming area. I put lowest to highest. I found the cheapest property flat that was on the market because I thought, well, it probably won't go lower. This was my thinking. And I had to put down a deposit of 15,000, but I had 7,500. So I thought, right, well, I'll buy it for my dad, who I may stress has got no money. He had a little bit of savings like me, and we went completely half, like you two going into business. When you say your dad, people think daddy's girl. Absolutely not. I never got no money off my parents, to be really clear. So me and my dad bought this property in Walthamstow, and then we bought another one in Waltham Cross, a house. And we rented them out, never made any money on them over the 10 years. In fact, it was really stressful because I went through a separation, a divorce. So I got some money from that, not a huge amount. It was 60,000, but from a house we both earned. And then I moved in with Adam. At the time we'd bought a house, and there was a 225 grand mortgage owing on that property. Yeah. And I sold both the houses I'd bought years and years and years ago with my dad. We went halves on what we'd made on it, and I made 125,000 on one.
That's amazing.
And about 60,000 on another. And that's what I was saying. That was from that small amount of money, and that was going for something. Now you can't do that now on these 5% deposits, but what I am passionate about is small money can be turned big. I know so many people that when I was younger would earn like £100,000 a year, and this was back in the day when that was really like still a lot of money now, but more money. You know, you got more for your money then. But they didn't know how to manage their money, and it always comes down to me is you have to value that £10 note.
I need to give up TikTok shop.
TikTok shop? Yeah. I'm no good on that old TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing.
Terrible. I'm that person. Like it's like I'm breastfeeding again. I'm in the middle of the night and I'm scrolling and like.
And the algorithms just put stuff that you will like.
The other day I just sucked into a really good ad, and it was like, if there's an apocalypse, what are you going to do in the household? And it was like, you need this radio.
Oh my God, I saw this.
Yeah, so I bought it.
You didn't. And I remember thinking, do you know what? And I'm not even joking. I actually thought, who would buy this?
No. Guilty.
How much? It's a guy, isn't it? And he goes down underneath.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I actually saw it and thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
like,
but Louise, you had grenades in your garden.
I
recently,
did. Well, that's probably why I was just like, I need to get myself sorted.
But then again, he's looking at it from the other way of making money. He's an absolute genius.
Yeah, well,
because he's making money selling it.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
Yeah, and
so that side of it, I can absolutely commend him. Like legend.
Have you got any like parenting fails, budgeting fails that you're like, oh, I've messed up there. Shouldn't have done that?
Oh, well, I would say I mess up most days because I'm a normal human being, and just life and parents, you do just end up sort of having lots of failures. I would say I wouldn't really necessarily even think about it being a money thing. I feel like I've tried to be the best mum. I definitely could still now give them more time. Like I'm a bit work obsessed, but again, I think that comes down to that's a me thing, not a them. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think there's really any rights or when with parenting, as long as the child is absolutely safe and loved, I don't think there is a right or wrong. Like I co-sleep with Bronte, and I don't do loads of things my mum did, and my mum will say, no, I wouldn't do that. But it doesn't mean that I'm doing it wrong and my mum did it right. We just did it. We're just doing it different.
Yeah.
You
Parenting's so different these days now, anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, like I just don't see why we all have to judge each other, really.
No judgment here.
Yeah, like I know it sounds awful, but I don't really care what you do with your kids, as long as they're safe and well, and they're not causing any concern like that. I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
and I don't care if you co-sleep, you get up in the middle of the night, you breastfeed till they're 25. Yeah, crack on.
It's a bit of bitty. 25, going to university, graduating. A bit of bitty.
That might be a little bit weird.
Okay, I've got a question actually, and I think this is more kind of like psychological if there's such a thing. When I was growing up, as I said, like we didn't have any money, and if we, on the off chance went to the cinema like once in a blue moon, my mum would never ever buy popcorn.
Absolutely agree with her.
And the sweets.
But she would make it really obvious, like, how much is that? Yeah. That's ridiculous. I'm like, Mum, this is really embarrassing. Like, and like mates are over there with like their massive popcorn. So I'm like, Mum, please just buy one. This is really, and she never did because it was, is it you? Do you do that? But because of that, Mum. But now as a grown up, I go to the cinema and I will buy the biggest popcorn. It's almost like I'm making up for my loss in childhood. I'm going to go to cinema with
you. You can buy it.
I honestly, I spend a fortune at the cinema because I feel like I didn't have that as a kid.
Okay.
Tonight, maybe I need some therapy about that.
Yeah, but it's that's important to you, and that's
Yeah.
okay that it's important to you
Yeah.
because you're probably careful in other ways.
I worry every single solitary day. I've got anxiety, so I'm sitting here now with a worried belly. I'm always worrying.
You don't come across that you worry ever.
No.
Oh my God. I was
Ever.
crying literally this morning before I got here.
Oh,
Woke up
babes.
with anxiety, like terrible.
Like
good
the
job that I've
knots
come
in
in.
your stomach.
Yeah,
What,
worried
worried about
continuously.
being healed? Just worried generally?
No. I was pleased to come here because I'm seeing you and that makes me feel better.
Oh, that's nice. I
No,
love that.
terrible. Just like got out the shower last night. I said it on my Instagram, just worrying all the time. Feel
What,
sick.
financially or just
Just everything. Like, I'm not doing well enough, or no one
Mate,
likes
you're
me,
smashing it.
or
Everyone loves you.
overthinking everything. all
But
the
were you
time.
worried throughout your pregnancy and for the birth and everything as well?
No, funnily enough, I wasn't. I just thought everything would be fine on my first pregnancy, and it wasn't. My birth was pretty horrific, but I didn't worry. Just the complications having Brody, like
Right.
the actual birth. The pregnancy was fine,
Yeah.
although I had terrible sickness. I didn't enjoy being pregnant, but just the actual birth was terrible.
Oh no.
Terrible. I mean, I was obsessed. I still am obsessed with them. But like the actual having him was, once he was here, was amazing. But the giving birth bit, oh my God, I can't lie, it was horrific.
So tell us a little bit more then. You said your first labour was a bit horrific. What about it was bad?
So obviously it was the first time having a baby. So you expect it. I don't know. Like, I definitely wasn't one of these people. I'd said straight away that I want an epidural. I want everything. Because my thinking was like, I wouldn't go and get my arm cut off without drugs. So why am I going to push something out my nun without drugs? That's the way I thought about it. And I didn't want an actual birth. Like, I was like, no, I want to be like, I do not want to feel this pain. I just want you to hand me this child. So anyway, I remember I woke up and my waters had broke and everything. And within sort of a few moments I started to feel the contractions. And I was like, the first couple of ones, I was like, this is all right. Within probably 10 minutes, I was like, this is horrific. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. So this went on and on and on and on for hours. And I remember Adam was like, well, you're not in labour yet because it's just started. And like you're following all the rules of what you're going through the antenatal classes, that you're not in labour. So I was like, okay. So Adam, I think, was falling asleep at the time, and which was really annoying me.
Standard.
He's absolutely amazing, my husband. I said to him, I'm obsessed with him, but oh my God, he was not good in labour. Like, he just kept going to sleep. I was like, really?
It's really hard for them.
I bet he
so
was
hard.
tired.
It's
Well,
exhausting
he's
for them.
actual. Well, do you know what he said to me? It's really hard for me because I'm not experiencing labour, so I'm just naturally tired, aren't I?
Oh my God.
Slap.
That's what he said after. If he'd said that then we probably
what would you have done
be
if you said it
divorced.
during, in that moment?
exactly. We
Yeah.
wouldn't probably be together now.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, this is so bad. So then we went to the hospital because I was like, I'm going to give birth to this baby. The pain is so bad. You've got to take me, Sad. And then takes me to the hospital. She checks me. She's like, you're only 1 centimetre.
Oh, that's the worst thing when they
my
say
God.
that, isn't
And I'm
it?
like,
But it's painful.
and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Give me a drug. They're like, no, you can't have anything until you're 4. And I was like, I'm going to blow my brains out. So you must be able to give me something. They're like, no. So I'm like, so then they've sent me back home. And I remember, it was like a blur. So then it got so bad, the pain. Adam's then taking me back. And I'm not joking. This was probably about 8 hours later. I was like, I must be there now. Got there. They're like, no, you're 3.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Like, what?
Oh my God.
What? And so I'm at this point. So then I hear this screaming to the point of, it was so bad, this screaming, I can't even tell you. So Adam's standing there and I said, can you shut that woman up screaming? Like, move me somewhere else. And they all went to me, it's you screaming, Gem. So I must have been having some
Really?
kind of like
Oh
out of
my
body experience. I think where I was
gosh.
exhausted, I kept hearing this
Wow.
screaming, and it was me screaming. So I was definitely like thinking, she checked me, she said, you're 4 centimetres, we can give you an epidural. And I'm like, give me an epidural. When I got pregnant with Bronte, they said I can have a planned C-section. It's really funny. People kept saying to me, oh, I'm really sorry that you've had a C-section.
No,
and I was like,
after that, you'd be like, Jesus,
sorry,
sign me up.
it was like absolutely amazing. Like I remember being totally awake because it was planned. I was like absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I remember they obviously they cut your stomach. You don't really know what's going on. In fact, I remember saying, "Can you tell me when you started?" And they were like, "She's nearly out," which is so weird. She's like, "Oh my God, my stomach must be open." And I remember they lifted Bronte out. It was like a scene from The Lion King. Like she's there, like so you do get women that have amazing births and they just slip out.
Yeah.
Shot out like a bullet, that one.
Yeah, just literally, she was like, no, the baby's coming, and they just pulled over, and that was it.
Did you get worried? Because I stressed about maternity leave and not being able to work. So when you had your kids, were you concerned? Did you save money beforehand and know that you were going to, go into labour? And did that scare you a little bit?
So what I did was, I was earning $1,500 a month then. I definitely weren't earning any more than that because I was never on a good wage. I was thinking to myself, right, I tried to put away that we lived off, trying to live off sort of Adams, and we lived off the $650, and any other bit of money, I put that away Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
So I saved literally half of it, so that when I then came, because I wanted a year off, because the last 3 months, most of the companies you don't get paid on. So I worked for a bank, so I got 3 months half. So 3 months full, 3 months half, 3 months stat. So that's actually a good package. And then the rest of the time, actually, I didn't go back. But I then had that pot of money for a bit to see me through. So that's what I did. I saved up. But then that was just a second nature for me as well, saving. So I was like,
I bet you kind of
it.
thrived off it as well when you're like, actually, I can save money here, save money there.
Yeah.
Eat at home. Are you one of those that will make you pack lunches for work?
Yes.
Or used to when you were, you'd always make food
I love
at home.
a coffee out, and that's my treat. And I always used to say, if I was ever comfortable enough to go out for a coffee a couple of times a week, I'd do that. And that is something I do. So even though it's really extravagant, £4 for a coffee, that's for my own mental health. I'll go out with Adam, my husband, or I'll go out with one of my friends. I'll meet them and I'll have my coffee.
But what I'd love to ask you is, mums listening to this now, maybe on the school run, driving to work, day to day, what advice and tips would you give to mums to say, right, cancel certain Apple subscriptions you've got. Check this. That's where you can save money. I did that the other day. I was like, gee, I saved 20 quid a month.
So one of the first things is if you've got younger children, you're paying for clubs, like certain, before they start school clubs, you go to a couple of things and they ask you to pay like monthly, like you have to pay like a set amount. So you might have to pay like £150. That's lovely. And I don't ever say don't do those clubs. Again, if you can afford it. But if you're on a budget and you can't afford it, look at things like churches and local schools and fates and things like that. Because church groups, I went to one, as I say, because I was on a very low income when I had first day Bronte, and you used to pay £1 donation a week. And actually, if you went and spoke to them and you couldn't actually afford the £1, you could come in for nothing. And it was a 2-hour thing. You had a cup of tea, coffee, cake. You chatted to other mums. And it was
that's really good advice.
Same experience as any other
same
group,
experience, and look at libraries. And then the other day of the week we went to rhyme time at the library. So we had 2 mornings out a week that cost me £1. So look at for free classes. That's firstly what I would say for younger parents if you're definitely struggling, because I do think mental health wise it's good to get out and walk and go to classes and do things, because otherwise you can go stir crazy, can't you, just sitting in by yourself.
Absolutely.
With food, if you're not good at budgeting with food, and you're not and every time you go there, you write a list, but you still end up picking loads and loads more things up. A really good tip I always say to people is get a supermarket scanner. Most of the shops have them, because as you scan things as you go along, it tallies up how much you're spending. And I think if you can physically see it, and you've got a budget of 50 quid, if you know you're already up to 20 quid, it makes you think twice of putting extra things in the basket that maybe you don't necessarily need or want
really
that week.
Good advice.
Another good tip is like when you're in the supermarkets and if there is a specific product that you're buying regularly, like baby wipes, nappies, etc., if you literally get your phone out. We've all got phones nowadays and you've got a camera. Take literally a photograph of the product. Just can be the image on Google Lens, and it will tell you the cheapest shop that you can buy it in. So it will just literally tell you. And then on top of that, on top of that, you need to have things installed into your phone or your browsers, either Honey or Coupette or Cooper. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. I might be spelling it or saying it wrong. So basically what that does is as you then go to checkout, it searches the entire web for all the discount codes and automatically puts that onto your basket for you. So I've saved hundreds over the years doing that. And then you can use top cashback on top of that. Yeah. Also, I use my Virgin credit card. I only advise to do that if you're really good with money and you pay it off at the end of the month and you use it like a debit card. So I then gain points on absolutely everything. And then with my Virgin credit card, I go into a thing called Shops Away on there. And then sometimes I can double up the points. So then I'm getting air miles off my holiday. Points for free.
That is what I do.
And it can sometimes take a little bit longer. But as I say, if I said to you over the week, you're going to save £100 and you're going to save 400, like that's a lot of money. And then you downsize on your car. There is ways to cut back and subscriptions. Yeah. If you go onto my Instagram, I've got a reel that I've done on it, but it's cancelling your subscriptions, and it's so easy to do, and it will literally flag up all the subscriptions that you haven't used, and so many people do that. I did it to my friend Lauren the other day. Sorry, hi Lauren, if you're listening to this. And she messaged me something like £34 a month. I was like, Lauren, like that. But the people had way more than that. People have messaged me like £50, £60.
And you don't even realise, do you? My son
I
did
would. I know it's penny.
If you were to treat yourself, have you done that? Do you do that? Would you do that? And if you would, what would you splurge on?
A car is my only thing I always think.
Bugatti?
Yeah.
No, it's not a Bugatti, no. But I've always liked a nice car. That's been my thing, a house and a car.
And would it be the Range Rover, like you said, when you went to look at that house?
So I was going to say, so when I started becoming more successful later in life, and again, I was 40 when I got this, and I do think that's a big thing, not in my 20s, do you see what I mean? And it was a couple of years old. I've actually recently changed it to an electric car because it made better sense going through the business and saving myself money.
Absolutely. How do you, with your dyslexia, how do you manage that with like looking at numbers or like with homework and stuff?
I don't do homework. Adam does it with them.
Fair play. And you work together, right, as well? He works with you now.
Yeah, he works for me. So he does like all the housework, cleaning, another thing that's unconventional, obviously. Of course it is, it's my life. It does the cleaning, the cooking, the ironing, everything like that. People say, do you have a cleaner? Because we've just moved, do you have a gardener?
Has he got a brother?
He does, but wouldn't advise. He does the mowing of the, like I do like all the gardening. We do all that ourselves. He does all the paperwork. So yeah, we completely work together. But he's just lovely.
Yeah,
so that's how you have it all.
He's lovely.
So
Get your husband
nice
to do it.
He's so nice. And
Do you pay him a salary?
Yeah, of course I do. We get paid exactly the same wage, 50-50.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
that's good.
Tax purposes, Louise. It's not to be.
Well, there you go.
Not because I'm being nice.
Gemma, thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing. So many money tips there. And if you've liked this episode, please like, subscribe, leave us a message because it really helps share the podcast. And if you have any of your own parenting fails, please DM me, Hannah, or No Parental Guidance because we love sharing them, reading them. It makes us all feel like we're in this together.